Wednesday, February 26th. Wednesday, February 26th, Indian time. Wagwan. Today I am Dhammapala. It was the name that I was ordained with. I didn't have a choice in the matter. I was informed that it involved my birth month, my birthday, and the approximate time I was born. Yes, I know it can sound like a Instagram birthday meme circulation kind of deal. I am at the Tabawa Center in Bodh Gaya, India. Tabawa Center. On the meditation deck here at the center. Tabawa Meditation Center. Created by the most venerable Dr. Ashin Otamasara from Myanmar. He's lauded to have created over 100 meditation centers all around the world. And I am currently at the one in Bodh Gaya, India. Recently, I traveled with Sayadaw Ottamathara. Sayadaw being titular, denoting his venerated status as a monk, where he would be teaching and learning and continuing to meditate as he spreads and expands his learnings of Dhamma in his way. Dhamma meaning Dharma. Could mean a number of things. Dhamma, coursing of nature, cosmic mathematics that really allow humanity to understand things in the most simplistic, mundane ways of everyday occurrences and how they could expand outwards to the rest of the world and the reaches of the universe. His brand of Dhamma involves detachment and mindfulness. And keep in mind, I have been a monk with Tabawa on and off when the opportunity was serving since 2020, COVID summer 2020. It wasn't until the quarantines happened that I was given the opportunity to ordain with Tabawa. And oh yes, I wanted to mention, 2 days ago I have been officially ordained as a fully ordained monk, meaning that I am a Bhikku. Since 2020, when I first ordained and ordained the subsequent times following up until today, I have been a novice monk or seminara. And what is involved as a bhikshu, I still do not know. I Just know that it involves a lot more rules. Uh, I know that a bhikshu would involve following stricter code of disciplines, or vinaya, as I am informed. But it's been still quite difficult to even pick things up on my own. Even as a seminara, I didn't really have an available teacher to tap into, because I should mention Tabawa is not an official monastery. This is something that I'm learning, one of many things that I've been learning on the day-to-day about what Tabawa even is and entails. I just was at the right place at the right time back in 2020. That brought me into a whole new company of people that put me into a situation that allowed me to begin meditating at a time when it was very volatile to really fall into a lot of group thinking. And meditation was the only way to extricate myself out of that. Which is another reason why I'm here in India right now. I wanted to pick up something before I could take it back. Because, oh, I don't know how to say it, but more and more each day, the longer I'm at home, it feels like the grip is folding tighter and tighter, as in everyone that I was around, friends, family, immediate company, we're all functioning on a particular autopilot with all these, drastic shifts and changes that we're faced with on a regular basis. How can we not take notice and act upon it? The best way that we can act upon it is to engage in a meditation practice, so we are able to adopt a particular stillness within the chaos, to really center ourselves and really centralize with our own thoughts and our own truths and our own ways of being, and not get carried off with the wind. That's why I came out to India, to really align with my highest truths. 2 days ago, when I was going through my ordination, something strange happened. I woke up and there was just this intense pain all over my body, just sores from head to toe. It kept me pretty incapacitated, and I wasn't so prepared to even walk down the long rural block to another monastery where I would get ordained, unless it took some, external pressure and convincing that it wouldn't really be another easy opportunity for me to ordain as a bhikkhu. And I don't even know what it really entails to become a bhikkhu. I just knew that, after being a novice monk for 4 years, I thought it was best to finally elevate to really unlock a new level of learning, because then I feel like as a novice, as a seminara, I was refused a lot. Even up until this day, I still have mixed feelings with Sayadaw's methods. It wasn't until another bhikkhu told me that many times for many Westerners it would require a third party translator, practitioner, teacher to really sustain the full meanings of his methods and teachings. I'm still puzzled in this very fluid layout they got here. Even Buddhism to me today, still very fluid. I do not know much, as many others do, when it comes to Buddhist literature, but I do have the understanding that it has been very fluid, because then I'm always getting a different opinion everywhere I go. And that's what is really infused with meditation practices, to really keep one fluid and well-rounded, not a strict adherence to a strict paradigm when it comes to many of the hardcore teachings. Tabawa. Tabawa. It's not an official monastery. He created it to be this intermediary platform for people to discover and embrace meditation as a means of healing, self-awareness, self-expansion, and really the ability to raise consciousness. That's initially why I got into meditation myself, because it was very intense time, going through a lot of hardship, personal tragedies, and personal failings that made me want to seek out a solution, and meditation was the answer that it whittled down to. And I'm so glad I found it too, because then after that it really led me on a pathway to just understand how I could meditate better, meditate more, develop this clarity and focus, to really, equip me in times that were just getting more hazy and unclear as, time goes on. I think you guys know what I'm talking about concerning these days of I don't want to say hysteria, because then that would mean that I am adopting and absorbing the fact that there is hysteria going on. Well, we gotta understand that there are an infinite number of results and conclusions and pathways that we can tap into once we adopt and inhabit feeling and the existence, the experiences that we ourselves are limitless. And when we are limitless, we can really have the world in our hands, and we could really conduct things in such a cognitively ignited way that I could better explain to you if you began a meditation practice. I promise you, it's a very dimensional contrast. It's like comparing the tortoise and the hare, how we can really whittle down people into groups of being competitors or creators. When you create something, you take your time. When you're a competitor, you strive to be number one, strive to win, strive to be at the top of the mountain. But once you're at the top of the mountain, you're only looking for the next highest peak. And then you're going to be racing to be number one at the top of the peak. So you can see what the next highest peak is. Essentially, it's Sisyphean to be number one. Because you're never gonna stop looking for that next mountaintop. But if you're a turtle and you take your time and you create your way, and keep in mind, turtles are known to live long. When you're a turtle, you can orbit your way around the mountain, see everything that the mountain has to offer as you get to the top of that mountain. So you'll be going through so many experiences and so many ways of being and so much learning and making a lot of friends, new relationships, potentially new ways of being, new habits, giving yourself time to really take it easy. So you're creating your pathway. And from a very quantum perspective, that's what many can consider to be number one. Dimensional understanding. When you're cornered into the rat race, to really perceive things a very linear way, you won't get to observe things in a more holistic, rounded way. You refuse a lot of learning. And experiences and what life has to offer when you're just so linear, narrowly focused on number one, which is cool for some people. But this takes me back to what I was addressing in a previous video about my identity crisis. You know, when you do take the leap in extricating yourself out of the rat race to, let's say, maybe ordain as a monk, taking your time to really observe and see things in a more holistic way, you renounce that life of the rat race, you renounce your name, because I'm Dhammapala, so that's what you call me, okay? That or DP, meaning Dhammapala, not what you linear-minded people may be immediately knee-jerking towards. Yeah, so this identity crisis is something that is just a normal circumstance when you do become a monk, because then you renounce your name, you renounce your former ways of being, you take on a new name, and then you take on learnings of very holistically minded processing of things. A dimensional shift. So, having an identity crisis can come as of nature when you really escape the confines of the self, the attachments of the self. And when you detach and you learn the ways of being of the non-self, you can really approach things in a more holistic way. Will be more cognizant of where the suffering is. If you ground your habitudes in meditation, you'll be able to successfully learn how to confront things in a more positive, beneficial, and more healing strategy, ways of approach. So, yeah, what I wanted to reassert from what can have been misconstrued from the first video is that this was an elected identity crisis where I wanted to escape the dysfunctioning rat race to reside in a different dimension, to really look back and see how I put myself in a more fruitful setting for learning. Oh, and one last thing. I said how this Tabawa Center in Bodh Gaya is under construction. This whole meditation platform was built and constructed. It's overhang, and this floor right here, and these Buddha ornaments were introduced to the center while I was away on retreat across India. And if it weren't for this platform that was newly constructed, I wouldn't have had this more intimate proximity to this interesting painting. Funny enough, before the construction was going on, I saw it from a more ground level, and there was no surface where I could approach it closely like I am now. But when I first got here to Bodh Gaya, I was attracted to it. It was calling to me. I'm into shapes, I'm into symbols, and what can I say? I don't need to say anything. It's all said right there. I'm Dhammapala. Thank you for putting up with this long video. I'm not a frequent YouTuber. I post things when I am interested in doing so. Because I don't want to be the ones that would ask you to subscribe, like the video, click on the link in the description, send a super chat. It's not my thing. Really goes against the Dhamma too, because then when you're in the YouTube rat race, you're caught in a different kind of race. YouTube, as being as powerful and as influential as it is still within a very competitive container where it would really eject you from your center of peace to really corner you into saying, like the video, subscribe, share, click on the link to donate, and